let's get to Caleb Calhoun's favorite time of the week, where we're able to make fun of coaches in one of two regards. And it is,
that's crazy,
or it's full on,
you suck, you jackass.
All right, football IQ. Caleb Calhoun, what do you got for me, sir?
Well, so guys, I just want to say up front, this week was a little bit tricky because as unintelligent as I think coaches are, I think administrators are stupider, and they put together a college football playoff format that may have incentivized you to lose the Big Ten or SEC title games. So I don't know if some of these coaches were trying to lose on purpose. And also, I just want to point out again, I texted John this last week and I told Dave on the show, I'm more convinced now that NFL coaches are dumber than college coaches. Did you guys see Buffalo and Sean McDermott on Sunday night when they were down 44-35, 3 timeouts, a minute left? They were on the goal line and he calls a sneak and burns a timeout, meaning he has to score and get an onside kick.
Yes.
To get the ball back.
Not good.
Not the best move.
You suck, you jackass.
But all right, so we're going to start with a fun little game out west, the Mountain West Conference. Barry Odom, who has now taken the job at Purdue, guys, by the way. He was leaving right after this game.
I'm sorry, wasn't Barry Odom already at Purdue?
No, he used to be. Barry Odom was fired at Missouri.
Okay.
And went west and reinvented himself, and now he's going back to the Midwest, and he'll probably end up back at Nevada or somewhere.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
I was told, I don't know that it's the case, but I was told the difference is at Purdue, the health insurance they offer does include hair plugs, which it didn't at UNLV. Caleb?
Oh Lord. They were down 21-0 with a minute left in the third quarter at midfield, and it was 4th and 8, and Barry Odom decides to punt. Because when you're down 21-0 and you have 60 minutes left in the game, field position is the most important thing, guys.
Oh, no question about it.
Yeah, but
that's crazy.
It is crazy, but crazy like a fox, because he'd already got another job and he was on his way out. And like, I'm not gonna waste any of my good play calls on 4th down here. I'll run those.
Yeah, like Barry has a good set of good play calls.
Wait, can I throw this out? You mean like how
Good
Doug
point.
Dickey lost the Gator Bowl to Florida and then took the Florida job the next day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next, another one. SMU, 4th and 6, midfield, down 10 in the fourth quarter. Rhett Lashley punted the ball there. Again, if you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you're at midfield and it's 4th and manageable, I don't think you ever punt it. Now, SMU did come back and tie it and lost in the end, 34-31, but you got to go for that.
But Caleb, you don't believe you should ever punt it.
Yeah.
Come
on, though. Down 2 scores in the fourth quarter near midfield, 4th and manageable.
It worked. It's not his fault the guy hit a 56-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What's next, Caleb?
All right. See, I will call for going conservative at times. I've taken John's advice and I'm putting winning coaches on my list now because I think Georgia belongs on my list because Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo, when you're up by a field goal and there's 2.5 minutes left and Texas only has 1 timeout left and you have a backup quarterback and it's 3rd and 13, I think you run the ball and you trust your defense to win that game. You don't put Gunnar Stockton in that position to throw the ball that is intercepted and lets Texas tie the game up with a field goal. I think that was so stupid.
I agree with that. I was surprised he did that.
You suck, you jackass.
There we go.
You're the best coach in the country, but on this show,
I'll have our moments.
Yep. All right. So my top 2 guys, the one, the only James Franklin made both of my top 2 because that was one of the dumbest coach games I think I've ever watched.
Brother, I got you there. I've never been a part of a coach that was more of a sycophant to the media in my life. I went there to talk about, they had a recruiting resurgence, and I was working for ESPN at the time. So obviously they were happy that ESPN would even care, when in reality I was just using it as a trip to Nashville. But I remember him coming up to me and goes, "Yeah, man, I can tell you're SEC and all that. You ain't got the orange hair to cover Tennessee." I'm like, well, that column that was going to be pretty complimentary of you just changed dramatically.
Well, you can laugh at him on this because 2 plays he did that were just beyond stupid. The first, Penn State's down 45-30 with 4 minutes left. They're driving the ball. They throw an incomplete pass on first down. James Franklin burns one of his timeouts to talk about the second down play, which is why Oregon was able to run off the clock at the end.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just
insane.
Dumb. And
Fire him on the spot.
well, then the final one. Guys, Penn State had 2 separate 100-yard rushers. It was 2nd and 1. They were averaging 9 yards a carry. James Franklin's brilliance was, let's call a play action and bomb him towards the end zone. And, of course, the ball's picked off, and Oregon's able to run the clock out and win the game. There is one caveat, though. The caveat is that by losing that game, Penn State just got the easiest road in the college football playoffs. So was James Franklin stupid or a mad genius for throwing that game?
I'll go with stupid.
Yeah, me too.
Jackass.
Caleb, I don't want to tell you how to do your business. However, I have just a suggestion for this segment in the future and for next season. Looking ahead, I assume this man will still have a job. I'd like to have it sort of a Kenny Burns coaching award. I mean, I think there should be the Kenny Burns segment. He's the coach at Kent State, Dave,
Yes.
and he spells it's Kenni, and he's the one that against Akron in a game he's
What's wrong with that? I know several ladies that spell their name like that.
He was almost in striking distance, and he called timeout and enabled Akron to set up a field goal at the end of the first half. It had no timeouts left. I thought it was a coaching move of the year, personally.
It was, and John, at the beginning of the year, I actually looked at all of Tennessee's coaches that they were going to face this year, and I said that Kenny Burns is by far the worst coach they're going to face. The minute Kenny Burns said, I don't like X's and O's or seeing the field, I'm just a CEO guy, I thought, oh my gosh.
Can you imagine when he's signing his contract and they've got it all typed up and it's time to sign his name? He goes, whoa, that's Kenny with an I.
Well, when Josh Pastner was hired at Memphis, the basketball coach back in the day, when he got the first #1 recruiting class, he was interviewed and he said, I respect the great coaches that win with lesser talent. I don't have any desire to be a great coach, so I just want to go get the best players. I'm like, you still kind of got to coach them, don't you? Just a little bit.
I wonder if Kenny Burns on his job interview there with Kent State said something along the lines, look, if you want somebody to go out and coach people up, I'm not your guy. All right. That's not Kenny ball.
No, that's
Burns ball.
Not what we're trying to do around this place. You need to get your coaching elsewhere. We're pretty much just after the best Jimmys and Joes. So I'll go ahead and tell you too, as soon as your kid's not one of those best Jimmys and Joes, he's out of here. Caleb, I'll give you the final word. Last look brought to you by Doctors Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn.
The first step to better vision is to visit ccteyes.com. The information you need is easy to access, and setting an appointment is as simple as clicking the tab. Doctors Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn, and Eye Care Optical at ccteyes.com.
All right, Caleb, last word you were going to say?
Well, I did some research because John brought my attention to the fact a couple weeks ago that it looked like Kent State was actually purposely throwing games. So we're like, is Kenny Burns just betting against Kent State on the spread? But John, I've done more research. I don't think that's the case. Kent State, apparently the administration's been trying to give up football for a long time. And there's
this sounds like the minor league, major league movie.
There's a booster base.
She's trying to undermine the team.
There's a fan base that doesn't want them to give up football, but they've been trying to give it up. And it sounds like they hired Kenny Burns to straight up suck on purpose so they could have an excuse to give up football.
Can strike that off Tennessee's quality win. John Adams, anything you would like to add?
No, I hope Kent State doesn't give up football. I'm adamantly opposed to that. I was a big fan. I watched 3 of their games from start to finish. I love that program, and I'm looking forward to seeing it every chance I get next season.
I will forever think of Charlie Sheen in that movie from now on when I see Kent State play, about how there's some mean, vindictive, redheaded lady who is trying to drive them into the ground and at one point turns off their hot water in the showers.